So welcome to the video. Today we're going to take a look at how to create variables in Jamovi that contain mean scores based on values within other variables or columns within Jamovi. So we'll often do this when we have a questionnaire and that questionnaire is comprised of multiple items and we're not necessarily interested in what someone's score is for an individual item, but rather we're interested in what their mean score is based on their responses for all of those items. So for this example, we're going to take a look at the brief fear of negative evaluation scale. So this is a 5-item questionnaire and participants respond using a 5-point Likert scale. So for example, the first item says, I worry what other people will think of me even when I know it doesn't make any difference. So a person with a high score on this item is going to have a high level of fear about being negatively evaluated by other people. However, question 2 says, I am unconcerned even if I know people are forming an unfavorable impression of me. So a person with a high score on this item is going to have a low level of fear about being negatively evaluated by other people. And it's the same thing with question 4, which says, I rarely worry what kind of impression I am making on someone. So a person with a high score on this one, again, is going to have a low level of fear. So questions 2 and 4 go in one direction, and questions 1, 3, and 5 go in another direction. So as well as looking at how to calculate or create those mean variables, we'll take a quick look at how to account for items going in different directions by reverse coding those items. So these are the data here. So here we have these 5 items and we can see that we just had 5 participants completing this questionnaire. So let's just import these data into Jamovi. So we go up to here and then we go down to open and then just find the Excel file on your computer. So let's take a look at how to reverse code items 2 and 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to item 2 and then I'll right click on that. I'll go down to add variable and then down to insert under this transformed variable heading. I'll then give this a name, so I'll call this item 2R for reversed. I'll specify that the source variable is item 2. And then I need to tell Jamovi how to transform these data. So to do this, we can go to add recode condition. We put a couple of equal symbols here, we press spacebar, and then we tell Jamovi that if someone has a response of 1, that's going to become 5. And then we just do that for the other options within the questionnaire. So we have equals equals 2 becomes 4. 3 just stays as 3, so we probably don't really need to do this bit, but we'll do it anyway. 4 becomes 2, and 5 becomes 1. So once you've done that, you can just click over here somewhere, and that will reverse code for you, so we can see that 2 becomes 4, 5 becomes 1, etc. So now we just need to do the same thing for item 4, but this time it's a little bit quicker because we've already told Jamovi how to do that recoding. So we can go down to add variable again for item 4, then insert. Again, I'm just going to call this item 4 with an R on the end. We'll specify that the source variable is item 4. And in this menu, we can see that we now have this transformation that we just used. So we can just click this and that will apply that transformation that we set up. So we can see that 1 has become 5, 4 has become 2, etc. So now we have these reverse coded items, we're ready to create the mean variable. So for this I have a small checklist that we can follow. So this is the checklist for reverse coding in case you want to take a screenshot of that. And down here we have the checklist for doing, for making the mean variable. So it says the first thing that we need to do is double click the top of an empty column. So I'm going to double click here and then I'll go to compute or new computed variable. And then I'm just going to give a name to this variable. So let's call it something like mean. And then we're going to follow this bit here. So it says type mean and put variables in parentheses separated by commas. So let's take a look at how to do that. So we're just going to type the word mean here with capital letters. Then we're going to open brackets and then we're going to click this little box here. And that allows us to select our variables. So if we double click, make sure you're over here somewhere. So if you double click item 1 and then press comma, and then we're going to select the reversed coded version of item 2. So I'm going to double click that, I'll put a comma, item 3, comma, reverse coded version of item 4, comma, and finally item 5, and then I'll close the brackets. And then if I click over here somewhere, we can see that mean scores have been generated for all of these participants. A potential issue with this is if you have missing data, it won't actually calculate the mean, even if you're only missing data from one of the columns. For example, if I remove this 3 here from item 4, you can see that it just doesn't calculate the mean anymore. So if you have missing data, there is a way around this. There is a way to address it. So you can actually include this little bit here. So ignore underscore missing equals 1. If we just copy that and then go to this bit again, and then we'll just put a comma after item 5, and then we'll paste that thing here. And then if we click over here, we can see that we do now have a mean for this participant, even though there were missing data for item 4. So that's basically it. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know in a comment and I will try to get back to you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.